Hello and welcome to DM Prep. This is CoS Episode 2. Oh Jesus, I gotta close that. Where is that? Where is that coming from? There it is. I had my stream open apparently. This is DM Prep, CoS Episode 2, Death House. Hey Shadows, how's it going? Holy shit. Wait, 6 viewers? 2 viewers? 6 viewers? It's literally jumping between 6 and 2. I don't know how many people are here. So one thing that I did off camera was I set up, so in addition to having dynamic lighting, I turned on advanced fog of war. So if I, don't want to do that. So if I grab one of these tokens and then take a look at what they can see, not only can they see what they have, light for, but they can also see everywhere they've been. So that's what Advanced Fog of War does. And basically, what it does is when they reveal something with dynamic lighting, thanks Tim. When they reveal something with dynamic lighting, it becomes partially revealed forever. So one of the things that didn't happen, dynamic lighting with a big only, yes, thank you. My ring. I took my ring off to eat chicken wings and I forgot to put it on. It is really hot in here, so I have the air on. If it's really loud, let me know and I'll just sweat, but I'm going to leave that on until someone complains about the noise. So one thing that didn't happen last session that I did want to happen was they didn't do a whole lot of exploring the first 2 floors. And if you remember, we were discussing on the last prep stream how the first 2 floors basically get you to they allow you to set up suspense. They allow you to make things scary before all the jump scares actually start happening. I didn't get to do that because they came in, they said, we're trying to get to the attic, so let's just keep going up. So they beelined the 3rd floor and then immediately ran into the animated armor. This front room is only revealed because they saw it through the front windows. Why did Streamlabs do? I can't. Streamlabs isn't. Whatchamacallit. It's not a sub, so it can't use our emotes. That's sad. I'll have to edit that out. Not sure why it messaged 6 minutes in. I set it up to message at 29 minutes in, but whatever. So yeah, as you can see here, like there's very little revealed. So they didn't go into the kitchen or the bathroom. Is that it? Yeah, or whatever the hell this room is. They didn't go into the library or the secret chamber, the servants' quarters, or whatever the hell this room. They didn't go anywhere. I've set it to 19. Oh, wait. Past the hour? No way. There's no way that's what's happening. Let's see. Streamlabs. Maybe I shouldn't do that on stream. I don't know. There's probably something sensitive in there. Okay, that's not. That ain't right. That ain't right. I don't know why that went off already. Maybe they just do it real early in the stream and then they'll do it another 29 minutes from now. We'll see. This will be the test. If that thing starts spamming, I'll have to go in and turn that off like immediately. But I was gonna say, what if it's like every 29 seconds? But anyway, so yeah, we didn't get to set up a whole lot of suspense, but the players kind of gave themselves suspense anyway. So what's left of the Death House? So if we look at what's revealed, they covered pretty much they covered the entirety of the 3rd floor, and kind of only barely explored the attic. But there's not a whole lot to the attic. They missed this northeast room and the southwest room because north is left. Wow, that thing is just spamming. It's like 1 a minute. It's actually literally 1 a minute. If that keeps going, I'll have to look at that. But yeah, so they didn't really miss a whole lot on the third floor in the attic. Let's actually take a look what they missed. So let's pull up Death House. And then, so they skipped areas 17 and 19. Spare bedroom, nothing. Storage room, oh cool, Spectre appears. Okay, it's the same Spectre. So yeah, they didn't miss any combat, but they, oh no, sorry, not the storage room, spare, yeah, okay, so spare bedroom, whole lot of nothing. And then they're in the storage room. So one thing that struck me as very odd is that there's very little for the players to actually interact with in terms of the Spectre. They open the door to the nursery, and then the Spectre attacks them, and they're like, well, what the fuck was that? Like, what just happened? So I do want to make it possible to reveal what happened to the Spectre, or what happened to the nursemaid, who is now a Spectre. For those of you who don't know, who haven't read the module, the Spectre is the ghost of the nursemaid, who actually was the mother of baby. Was his name Warren? No, what was his name? Baby Walter. Baby Walter. So the nursemaid. Oh, they're supposed to say that the Walter's in the third floor nursery. Why did I say it was in the attic? I don't know. So there, you know, the nursemaid is Walter's mother, but I think they sacrificed Walter in utero. Nursemaid. Master of the house and the nursemaid had an affair, which led to the birth of a stillborn baby named Walter. The cult slew the nursemaid shortly thereafter. Okay, so so she is a Spectre because they murdered her, and then the baby was just stillborn. So what I'm going to do is, over the course of you can absolutely steal ideas and changes. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's kind of why I do this. It also forces me to actually prep, which I have a tendency to not do until morning of. So as the players continue forward, they're going to make their way into the basement with the ghosts of Rose and Thorn possessing their bodies. And the kids will essentially reveal some details that they don't seem to think is important, like the fact that the nursemaid was pregnant, but they didn't think anything weird of it because they were just like, oh yeah, like she's a nursemaid, like she carries the children for mom, or something weird like that, and the players will be like, what the fuck? And then of course they're already in the storage rooms. They actually start exploring it. They'll find the nursemaid's body. It is just skeletal remains, so not huge, like not incredibly. They can't recognize her face because it's skeletal, but they can figure out that she was stabbed to death. And then later on, when they where's the nursemaid? I remember seeing something. I don't know if it was in the module, or actually I think it was on Reddit. I think so. After the house collapses, when the players leave, which I think happens regardless of whether or not they appease the cult. No, I actually don't think that that's a thing that's in the module. But that's something that I do. I like. I like the idea that after the players leave, the house just collapses on itself. Like, it's totally sentient, it's totally willful, so it can just collapse itself and then, rebuild itself years later. Whatever. After the house collapses, after they leave, the nursemaid's ghost will just, like, sort of rise out of it and just be like, hi. Along with the spirits of Rose and Thorn, and their spirits won't be laid to rest unless they actually bury their remains, which is actually something that's in the module. But I think that Rose and Thorn probably wouldn't want to be buried in the basement as the as the adventure suggests. They would rather probably be. Oh yeah, it's definitely some. I think it's more Poltergeist actually, more than Shining. Like the house collapsing on itself, shit. But yeah, the ghost being like, "Hi, we're still here." That's pretty Shining. But yeah, this whole thing is an homage to Poltergeist because it's a house that's fucking with you. Yeah, sure. Drop it in chat. Let's see. Let's take a look. So the real thing here is they've just found the secret stairs that lead into the dungeon basement. So essentially what we need to do is we actually need to go into... Oh, I can't interact with the chat window, which is dumb. Fortunately, I am a good typo. OLBYNVLNDB0. 10 minutes. Okay. This is weird and you should stop. Get the written guide. Yeah, cool, I can skim this. I can't skim a video good. Also, I think I have my audio muted. Oh, not quite. Alright, here we go. Names have power. Yeah. Durst Manor. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've actually ever actually named the place. Alternate history. Wealthy landowners. Yeah, they have the mill. That's a thing. Agricultural portion. Yeah. This feels unnecessary. Like they. Here we go. Okay. Okay, the nursemaid has a name. Anya. Unadulterated ire of Elizabeth. Yep. Okay. Walter was actually born. Brutally murdered the nursemaid and snatched Walter from his crib. Uh-huh. Okay, so here's my problem with all of this history. How can the players actually learn any of this? Anytime that you're writing a backstory for an adventure, I mean, I guess I'm getting into like, how to write an adventure, not even how to run an adventure. But I guess, it's advice for how to run an adventure too. Anytime you're writing anything for an RPG, any kind of backstory, you need to answer one of two questions. Number one, how does this... Actually, honestly, number one, only question, how does this influence play? How is this actually going to affect play? If it's not going to affect play, then you're just masturbating on a page, honestly. So adding all of this additional backstory for the Dursts means basically nothing unless it's revealed throughout the rest of this. My main problem with this is that it's not a full rewrite. It's written as a change things this way, because like you can see, they don't have a 27, they don't have a 24, they don't have an 18 through 22. So while you're running this as a DM, you have to do one of two things. You either need to take the original module, put it into a document, and then take all of these notes and put them into the same document, and or you have to do that while you're running it at the table. And both of those suck. So I've actually run adventures like this. I've used, I forget the name. Sorry, guy, but I used DM's Guild appendices. I don't know, they're additions for Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and it essentially read like this. It's like, here's how you change this. It's like, oh, a character looks in the mirror, sees a skeleton reflection. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck mirror are you talking about? So I got a 15. There's a mirror. Okay, yeah. So, I do like the idea of replacing the items, because I think the items in the original adventure are kind of lame. Sephaxis is a really weird name. So Okay, skill challenge escape. I mean, that's okay. Gibbering Mouther? Gibbering Mouther instead of a Shambling Mound? I mean, that's a major nerf. Shambling Mound's like CR5 and Mouther's like CR2? Yeah, that's a major nerf. Yikes. Yeah. We do love Gibbering Mouthers. I mean, we like when Jables turns into a Gibbering Mouther. No, not Jables. Was it Jables? Yeah, it was Jables. Add an animal somewhere for the sacrifice room. Yeah, so the thing that I've done for that in the past is generally I just describe rats like all over the basement. So you know they might not realize that rats are living creature enough, and you know that's up to them. But you know I put rats in the basement, and I even play up the existence of the rats. So one of the things that's in the basement is what's it called? Grell. No, not Grell. What the fuck? What's it called? Grick. There's a Grick. So when they get to the dining hall, moldy humanoid bones lie strewn on the dirt floor, and then I also have rats picking at those, and then the Grick generally is happy to eat the rats. And that's, you know, why it's capable of living here now that there's no more humans to eat. You know, it just feeds on the rats. And then, you know, the players show up and attacks them because it's hungry because there's not a lot of rats. But yeah, I put lots of rats in the dining hall, in the cultist quarters, etc. Anywhere that the rats could feasibly get some kind of meat. And then, you know, the players can think, oh wait, we need a sacrifice, let me go get a rat, I'll kill that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, unable to read or set, I've left this page up for, I think, literally the entire last week, since I did my prep on Saturday. Yes, cookies, whatever. Let's clear chat, because I like to do that. Close that. So whenever I move from one scene to another, I literally just copy paste the tokens, and I always right click copy because Roll20 is stupid and likes to pretend you didn't hit Control-C. Yeah, sacrificing a dog just feels like a dick move. It's like you have to be an asshole to animals. That's how it works. All right, so I'm gonna take a look. So I'm gonna grab dynamic lighting, and then. So the question is, where do I want to drop these tokens? Because like it's a spiral staircase, so there's no room for me to actually like put them all in here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just slap them up here, and then you know they get to see the compass rose and the word Death House. It's cool, right? Let me actually move everyone over here. So they get to see the compass rose and the word Death House. And that's literally all they can see right now. And they can't see the numbers and stuff. Oh, they can't even see. Okay, so they just see like a vague map. So what I'll do is when I take these tokens and I put them into here, I will then also reset the advanced fog of war. Actually, I don't even have fog of war enabled. So let's turn on advanced fog of war. Show the grid, dim light reveals, and then there's a setting, restrict movement. So they can't move themselves through walls, which is real good because this is all one level. So one of the problems with the upper level is that they're like, in order to get from the second floor to the third floor, you have to go through a wall on the map. And they can't do that themselves, so it kind of sucks to have that option on. You just kind of have to trust them not to be dicks. Are those guys on the overlay light? They are, because so the Grick is hidden in here. This is hidden in the coffin, and if I recall correctly, these are hidden underground. And the shadows, again, hidden in the ground. Mimic is a door guests are just behind walls, so the dynamic lighting keeps them from being seen. So let's start prepping. So we've got dungeon features. Dungeon level underneath Death House is carved out of earth, clay, and rock. Tunnels are 4 feet wide, 7 feet high. So that's going to be a problem for Rubek, because he's probably about 4 feet wide and over 7 feet tall. Now, when I say that's a problem for him, I don't actually mean let me give him a mechanical disadvantage, because that's not fun. Being a big dude is cool. And generally, as long as you're a medium character, there really shouldn't be any major differences in capabilities. If you're trying to reach a high ledge, being tall helps. If you're trying to squeeze through a tiny gap, be a small race. I'm not a huge fan of saying, oh, you're squeezing because the halls are only 4 feet wide. Shut up. Stop that. Yeah. 5th edition is not a simulationist game. Would he absolutely have a great deal of difficulty swinging his weapon in these tiny-ass corridors? Absolutely. Is that fun or interesting in any way? No, I don't think so. Because what can he do about it? Pull out a dagger, which is easier to swing in a narrow corridor. It's like, oh, let me just nerf my damage because tight. So I don't plan on doing anything with this information other than just describing it. He brushes the ceiling with his head, and dirt clatters to the floor. Yeah, that's about it. Rooms are 8 feet tall, so we can stand upright. Supported by thick wooden posts with crossbeams. Area 38 has a 16-foot high ceiling. So when they get to these stairs, I will have to move their tokens for them. Other than that, totally, on their own, they can move their tokens and they can't go through walls. So that's not a problem. Area 38, 16-foot high, supported by stone pillars. Cool beans. Characters without dark vision must provide their own light sources as the dungeon is unlit. Fantastic. Centuries-old human footprints in the earthen floor leading every which way. So let's see. So dungeon level access. Ghostly chanting. So there's just chanting, just always. So they can't discern words until they reach Area 35, which is this sacrificial chamber antechamber. So that's neat. But they, so I guess it's coming from Area 38 then. So they hear chanting just all the time. Can't tell where it's coming from, and can't tell what they're saying. Just chanting, chanting, chanting. Several crypts have been hewn from the earth. Empty, Walter, Gustav, Elizabeth, Rose, and Thorn. Nice and easy. Elizabeth's crypt has a swarm of centipedes. Rose's crypt, yeah, if you put her skeletal remains. The party get to long rest after the last fight. They have not yet long rested, but they did decide that they were going to, and I have not yet decided if they get to. That's actually not true. So I read some Reddit posts about resting in Death House, and apparently there was someone whose players decided to long rest after every single fight. Because honestly, you're level 1, you don't want to spend your 1 hit die to heal and not get your spell slots back, and some of those fights are actually pretty gnarly, and if you're only a group of 4, it's a little harder. So I understand the player's desire to long rest after every fight, but that seems cheesy as shit. So, what I actually intend to do is that they can long rest. They can absolutely long rest. They can sit there for 8 hours. They'll hear chanting coming up the spiral staircase. It says they hear from the moment they arrive in the dungeon. They don't even need to get there. They hear chanting coming up from the basement, even while they're upstairs in the attic. And every single time they fall asleep, the house will wake them up. Nails on a window will blow open. Um, Shadows in 31. Oh yes, the shadows can absolutely be deadly, especially for characters like Elodie who have 8 strength. You can absolutely reduce strength to hilariously. You can kill them by removing all their strength. Definitely a possibility. You can't rest outside because of the mist, and you can't sleep inside the house. So what will happen is they will get through the long rest, but they won't get any sleep. So at the end of the rest, everyone has to make a DC 10 con save versus a level of exhaustion. And for those of you who don't know, a level of exhaustion is disadvantage on ability checks, and that's it. So it's not exactly crippling, but Snurk might like the mist because I said it was more. Yeah, he'll like the mist until he can't breathe in it, and he gets exhaustion for breathing it. So yeah, the mist is very deadly. It's very, very deadly when it's that dense fog. You're not allowed to go here kind of mist. That's whiz save versus exhaustion all day. And I am actually hoping someone tries that, because we haven't actually established that that's a thing yet. And I do want that to come up. In my original playthrough, my players were absolutely paranoid about the mist, and they were like, I don't want to go in there. I can't see anything in there. I can barely hear anything in there. Anything can sneak up on me. So they never went in the mist. And then we got to Yester Hill with that big ass fog wall, and they're like, that looks like a cool place, and we're gonna try and walk through it. And then they immediately started getting these exhaustion checks, and they didn't know why. And it felt really bad that they didn't understand that the mist was causing it. But I really couldn't. Like, I tried to just sort of metagame and be like, yeah, like, this is what the fog does, and you guys just haven't interacted with it yet. But I do want to sort of encourage them to like try and like go out on a balcony to sleep. Maybe the house won't be such a dick, or just leave that. I don't know. But yeah, so they won't be able to sleep, and I'm gonna have. So let's make a list. List of middle of the night spooky scaries. Nails on window. That one's easy. Nails screeching on window. Windows burst open. Wind howling. Floorboards downstairs creak as if someone walking around. Let's see, what else is creepy in an old ass mansion? Do we go with chains rattling? Crows. I like crows. Crows cawing loudly as if just outside the window. Are there a lot of paintings? I don't think there's a lot of paintings, but there's a few of them. But mostly I'm looking for things that'll be loud, tree branches tapping on windows. I'm looking for things that'll be loud that would wake people up. Tree branches tapping on windows. Tree branches hammering on windows. So, I want these loud, scary things. I want just, it doesn't need to, I don't need to come up with an exhaustive list of them, just enough to give the players an idea. And I think this is plenty. Just say, you're not sleeping. I don't know if thunder works, because that's not something the house can do. Honestly, crows probably aren't something the house could do either, because it's the house trying to keep them awake. It's not just, it's the house trying to keep them awake. And then, rattling shutters. Yeah. Sound of creaking floorboards. Z, I already have one written down. Oh, you guys can't see this because it's so fucking tiny. Make that bigger. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I got plenty. Thank you for all of your suggestions. I just need enough to give the players an idea. There is a furnace in that room, so I actually really like that. I like that one better than the crows. Furnace in the attic, bursting into a roaring flame. No wood. Just no wood. But it's readable now, right? Yeah. So yeah, so as they're long resting in the attic, just you know, every time you finally manage to fall asleep, roaring flame, oh fuck, another fire snake. Every time they finally manage to fall asleep, it's just no, you don't get to. And I will explain to them that you'll get the long rest as long as you spend 8 hours resting. But people need to sleep, and it's gonna suck. I'll basically, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll explain to them the ramifications as soon as they start thinking, as soon as they express to one another, do we want to give up on this? I'll explain to them what the ramifications of continuing to rest will be. You'll get the long rest, but there will be a con save versus exhaustion. And then I'll explain what exhaustion is. You'll be really tired when you get up in the morning, but you'll still get your long rest. You'll get your hit points, you'll get your hit die back, you'll get your spell slots back. Yeah. So that's my plan for the long rest. I do want them to be able to get a long rest because there's really no reason they can't. There really isn't any reason they can't. But if they want to keep taking long rests in this house, they're going to have to keep dealing with this lack of sleep. And every night you go without sleep, the save DC for exhaustion goes up and up and up and up and up. So if they keep doing this in Death House, they really only get the one free long rest, because even if you get one level of exhaustion, it's just disadvantage on ability checks. They're not going to be massively hindered in combat. Yes, the con save DC increases per night you go without sleep. So the first night it's 10, the second night it's 15. So it looks like our Discord thingy's working, because it has been 21 minutes since the last time it did it. So yay me. So cool. I got the timer working. I don't know why it, like, at 4, 5, and 6 minutes it just did all 3 in a row, and I guess now it's gonna do them every 20. Yeah, 15 is quite a hop. Yeah, I mean, sleeping, going without sleep is, it's brutal. I'm actually just gonna search D&D Beyond for sleep. I'm gonna get the spell. Is it here? Going without a long rest. Yep, so whenever you end a 24 period without finishing a long rest. So this says without finishing a long rest. But the way I actually understand it is sleep deprivation. You can get a long rest without sleeping, but you get this, this saving throw. So yeah, the DC increases by 5 for each consecutive 24-hour period without a long rest. So that's you didn't need to do the Discord. Like the bot did it. The bot did it. That's the point of the bot. That's the point of the bot. I set up a timer. We got Discord link. It's fine. We do talk about delicious food like pickles, or disgusting food like pickles, depending on which side of that argument you're on. So yeah, if they keep taking long rests, they are gonna keep getting these increasingly difficult con saves versus mimic slightly the Night Hag's ability, but minus the law. I don't know what you're talking about. Nightmare haunting? See, this is, it's gains no benefit from the rest. Like, I don't think that's necessary. I think exhaustion is plenty. Just con save versus exhaustion. Anyway, so let's keep prepping this dungeon. So area 23, nice and simple. There's a bunch of crypts. 2 of them don't even have coffins. Blankstone slab meant to seal the... Okay, so they don't even have coffins yet, and the slabs are just to the side. So they're sealed with a stone slab, and then the ones that actually have the slabs... they all have... Okay, so this one has no name. The rest actually have names. Walter has a slab, but no coffin. And then the rest of the family have coffins. Nice and easy. And then it says, they can be buried, but the children would literally not want to be buried down here. So if the players suggest that, they'll be like, no, if you're going to bury us, please do that in the Barovian graveyard. That would be a much better place than in the fucking basement of our house where the monster lives. Cult initiates quarters. So, they're just living quarters. Nice and simple. Moldy straw pallets, table and chairs. Cool. Well and cultist quarters. 4-foot diameter well shaft, 3-foot high stone lip. So one thing that's really interesting, one thing that kind of sucks because they didn't do it, there's pillars all throughout these rooms. And I think we can get away with like not having. I got shape. Yep. And we're gonna zoom all the way in so I can draw tiny shapes. So I'm gonna do dynamic lighting on all of these pillars. Because I think that's gonna make for a really cool. Like I think that's gonna look neat. I might be wrong. Who knows? Eh. So now that I put those in, let's grab a token and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's cool as shit. Is it just me or is that cool as shit? So that's a thing I'm doing. Because the pillars do block light. And if we're gonna use dynamic lighting, then why not go balls to the wall on it? I'm not gonna bother with dynamic lighting on the pillars that are on the edge of the room because there's a lot of them and the effect is minimal. But I'm gonna put them for pillars that are in the middle of the room. So if you don't know this, what you can do on roll 20 is you can copy a thing and then click where you want to paste it and then hit paste and it'll paste right where you clicked. So that's what I'm doing here. So there's no pillars in this room, no pillars in that room. I think it might be it. I think it might just be those 3 rooms that are large enough to have pillars. Oh, there's pillars here too. So we're just gonna put some pillars in these, and then go back to tokens. So yeah, I really like the pillar effect. I think that's really fucking cool. Also, it because the shadows are there, when they fight the shadows, if I recall correctly, shadows are able to bonus action hide in dim light or darkness. Yep, while in dim light or darkness, they can take a hide action as a bonus action. So all they need to do is move behind a pillar and disappear. And I plan on doing that. And they're actually amorphous. They're not incorporeal, so they can't go through walls or anything. But they can just slink around the pillars because they're amorphous. They can be as narrow as an inch. Unless the light actually completely covers their hiding place, they're gonna hide in that darkness, that tiny darkness. And the way that I'm gonna rule it is that if they have literally any darkness, like I guess they're gonna be effectively invisible. That might be a buff to them, but I think it's just really cool. They only have 16 hit points. They do have resistance to non-magical, but these guys are level 2. This is a very swingy fight. If they hit, you're gonna lose some strength, and that's gonna suck. Oh, it only lasts for short rest. Okay. But yeah. So anyway, back to prepping. So well in cultist quarters. So yeah, pillars, dynamic lighting, real cool. 4-foot diameter well shaft, 3-foot high stone lip, 30 feet to a water-filled cistern. Is there anything in the well? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the I'm going to take the hairbrush and put that in the well because I think that's more interesting than just being in a chest in a room. If the players decide to just like pull the bucket up, it's just in the bucket. Wooden chests are locked. Cool. Hidden spiked pit trap. Okay. Is it just the one? Yep. So as you head west along, is west down again? Yeah, west is down again. That's dumb. So as they're heading down this way, it gets louder because the stairs down. So here's a thing. A successful perception check reveals an absence of footprints. So the way that I run traps is that only the person in the front actually gets to passively look for traps. I think I should assign one safe room for them to allow them to rest just in case. Honestly, that's up here. I think it's pretty clear. It should be pretty clear to them that the cultist quarters, either one of them, would be pretty safe for them to rest. But they're still going to get woken up. Like, that's happening. They're getting woken up. The wife's body is down there? Oh, the wife's body is in the well? Is it? Oh, because maybe her body... Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't hate that. Was she in... No, an empty coffin. So yeah, anyway, so traps. So the common thing to do is, everybody roll perceptions. We make our way down the hallway. But if there's something that you're trying to avoid stepping on, only the person in the front, or the people in the front, if the hallway's wide enough to accommodate, get to search normally. Anyone behind the front rank, they get a progressive -5 to their perception checks for each rank back. So people in the second rank get a -5, people in the third rank get a -10, people in the fourth rank get a -15. And essentially what that is you're not going to be able to see danger sense. You get it at level 2, and they're level 2 now, so Rubek does have that. That said, Gramps is the one with wisdom and perception, so he actually has 15 passive. So are we doing milestone? Yes, we are doing milestones. So the reason that I do the progressive -5s is essentially you need to be able to see the thing that you think is a trap early enough to stop the guy who's 10 feet in front of you from stepping on it. So if if there's 2 people in front of you, you have to look past those people and be like, hey, wait, stop. But they have a much better view of what's directly in front of them than you do. So that's why I do the progressive -5s, and I do apply that to passive perception as well. So if they put their 15 passive perception druid right in the front, bam, they immediately see it with the 15. And then if I forget what danger sense does. Danger sense, I think it's just advantage on dex saves, isn't it? Wait, okay. Advantage on dex saves. Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't give you advantage on perception or anything. It's just it's not going to stop him from triggering it. It'll just stop him from getting murdered by it. So, ouch. 1d6 bludgeoning and 2d10 piercing. Wow. Okay. Passive visual perception, passive hearing perception. Yeah, I mean, I mostly, there's nothing to hear about a pit trap. But yes, that is generally just for visual perception. For smells, anyone would smell it, unless that 10 feet actually makes a huge difference in the intensity of the smell. For sound, 10 feet is not going to be a significant dampening. So like if it's a matter of hearing something around the corner, whoever's got the highest passive is going to hear it. It doesn't matter where in the ranks you are. But if you're trying to avoid falling into a pit trap, you need to have your highest perception guy in the front. So dining hall, like I said, lots of it helped somewhat to finding. Yeah, I mean, it does help you find it in that you just walk forward and rely on your danger sense to keep you from dying. That said, there are save for half traps, so 5 foot long, 10 foot deep pit hidden under several rotted wooden planks hidden under a thin layer of dirt. So yeah, I mean, like it breaks. First person gets caught out by it. So you need the perception check to reveal an absence of footprints in this hallway. So there will be footprints all along this hallway, and there'll be footprints all down here. But this 15-foot stretch does not have footprints, if they notice. So yeah. So because the lack of footprints is visible from here, even if someone's standing here. If Rubek's in the front and then Gramps is second standing here, he can go, wait, hold up. You're walking where there's no footprints. You should stop. And then, that can work. So, dining hall, like I said, I'm going to put mice in here, skittering around, and then as they're exploring, the Grick pops out. Creatures who approach within 5 feet of the alcove. So my idea is that it's sort of like a closet with like a 5-foot high doorway, and then there's like an area above the doorway, so even if they peer into that doorway from a distance, the Grick is just hidden above. And then by the time they get close enough to see the Grick, they're already adjacent, and it leaps out at them. And then, as it starts moving, if their passive perception is less than 12, they're surprised. So the way this works is as soon as they get within striking distance of the Grick drops down. The Grick starts to move. It's still clinging to the ceiling. The Grick starts to move. We roll initiative. Before the Grick can do anything, we roll initiative. And then, using this rule, we determine who's surprised. So anyone, so this is really weird. Any character with a passive perception under 12 is surprised by it. So if they have an 11, 10, 9, 8, I don't think you can get an 8 without rolling for stats. If they have a perception lower than 12, they're surprised. And then, then we start an initiative, and, let's say Gramps is the one to find it. He's got high perception, so as soon as the Grick starts moving, he's ready to fight, and so is the Grick. Initiative has already been rolled. Gramps is not surprised. If the Grick rolled higher, the Grick still gets to go first. But Gramps will not be surprised by this. I can't remember who. I think there's 3 of them with less than 12. I remember that sucks. Oh, they're closed for 4th of July. Are they closed tomorrow, I guess? That's weird. But yeah, they're not going to deliver anything this weekend. Ghoulish encounter. When one or more characters reach the midpoint of the 4-way tunnel intersection. So right here. When someone gets here, all of them pop out. So the idea here is that all of them. So I'm guessing the idea is that they surprise you, but they spend their first turn climbing out of the ground. So there's no surprise round, but there kind of is. So that's just sort of how we'll describe that. And I don't know why I'm describing like how the surprise rules work, but okay. Stairs down. Cool, stairs down. They go down. Ghostly chants originate below. Dark Lord's Shrine. Festooned with moldy skeletons that hang from rusty shackles against the walls. Wide alcove in the south wall, which is... I just pointed at my monitor like you can see that. This is the south wall. Contains a painted wooden statue carved in the likeness of a gaunt, pale-faced man wearing a voluminous black cloak. His pale left hand resting on the head of a wolf that stands next to him. In his right hand he holds a smoky gray crystal orb. The room has exits in the west and north walls. Chanting can be heard coming from the west. So, the west? Coming from the west? Shouldn't that be from the east? Because the chanting's coming from here? I can point at the north wall. Yeah. Why would the chanting be coming from here? Mimic in disguise. Yeah, hidden trap door. Okay, so there's a hidden trap door that goes back upstairs. And I think they can find it. But what is C? What the hell is C? Why does that say C and not S? The fuck? Does anyone know why that says C? I'm very confused. Is there a map key? I'm very confused. Why the fuck does that say C? There's no map key on this map. Like, S makes sense. That's a secret door. What in the fuck is C? Well, how about I read the description of the thing? Are you fucking kidding me? concealed. It says C for concealed. Seriously? Seriously? I'm dumbfounded. No, it's literally a secret door. It's a door that is secret. It's not. It's just not a secret door. Whatever. It's just a rotted door under a layer of clay. I just put S here. Whatever. Trapdoor goes up the ceiling. They can find it now. While they were until they why not just fucking call it secret? While they were upstairs, they could not find this trapdoor in the basement because the house magically hid it. Cool. For bodies in the well, she shouldn't be in 34. Oh yeah, she had gassed. Okay, she's not in the well. It's just it's just someone else. We'll put someone else in the well. It's just a body they don't recognize. Whatever. It's a skeleton at this point. It's been hundreds of years. So I can just put a skeleton in the well, and they can. Yeah, it's definitely Samara. We're just taking every single horror movie and cramming it into what's a good stat block for Samara? I think gassed actually isn't bad. Now I kind of want to. No, I actually really want to do like a Samara encounter all of a sudden. So we're gonna look for undeads. And I want something that can like hold its own against them. So I'm looking for like CR3. Let's limit it to 4. Ghast would wreck them? No, there's literally 2 ghasts in Area 34 that they have to fight. Ghasts aren't that bad. They got the paralyzed, but the DC is so hilariously low that it never really hits. So let's see. Undead, CR4 or lower. What do we got? Banshee? No. What the fuck is a death? Ooh, drowned assassin. What will be the well? The well. The well will be the well. The well will be the well. Drowned assassin. Let's take a look at this guy. He can't swim, sinks to the bottom of any body of water. Okay, he'll be climbing. He's good at stealth, so he can stealthily climb out. Takes no penalty to its movements or attacks underwater. Immune to the effects of being underwater at a depth greater than 100 feet. Cool. Doesn't matter. Undead fortitude. I don't understand the mask thing. I don't know if I like this. But it says other drowned ones exist? So there's other drowned things, right? Let's see if there's other drowned things that might be more appropriate. Let's just search drowned. Bum bum bum. Drowned ascetic. That makes sense. Oh, I was hoping for a spellcaster. Let's see. Yep, can't swim, sinks, sure, bound together, undead fortitude, 3 unarmed strikes. What in the fuck is blue rot? DC 12 con save versus blue rot, grows grotesque blue boils. Disease carried by undead. Yep. Boils manifest in 1 to 4 hours. Yikes. Quickly followed by a fever and tingling in the extremities. Starting to regret, like, show advanced filters. Partner content. Okay. 3 unarmed strikes seems a little gnarly. 3 with AC, it's ranged attack. Okay. I regret the idea of having a thing pop out of the well. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I don't think it fits good. Let's see. What else is there? I don't like the drowned. Vampire ghost. Withers. He's lame. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really. What's a death one? That's a spellcaster. Why not just a bloated corpse of a zombie? I mean, yeah, I think just bloated corpse. We're just gonna stick with bloated corpse. There's a woman in the well if you feel like fishing her out. Cool, done, easy. We're not gonna do combat. I was just like, yeah, let's do a Bodak. Jesus, yeah, Bodak would murder. Let's look it up. Bodak. Yeah, these guys are gnarly. Does Samara have a wizard? Oh my god. Save verse 4d10. Yikes. And also, holy crap. Holy crap. Yikes. Wow, yeah, Bodak would absolutely annihilate them instantly. What kind of hit points do they have? It is squishy as hell, but anyway, Cult Leader's Den is, that's where the Mimic door is. So here's how I like to run Mimics. Someone goes to grab a door, and their hand sticks to it, and now we roll initiative, you're surprised, and you're grappled. And because you're grappled by it, due to its adhesive trait, it has advantage on its attacks. So then it just tries and bite you. So that's how I like to run Mimics. Chandelier suspended above the table in the middle of the room. 2 high-back chairs flank the table. Cool. Empty clay jug, 2 clay flagons. Iron candlestick stand in 2 corners. Their candles long since melted away. Cool. Cult Leaders, Quartars. So I don't understand why not a gem Mimic? I mean, I do like Mimic babies. I had a in one of my campaigns, I think it was early in Sagas, I put a swarm of coin Mimics in at one point. At the foot of the bed is an unlocked wooden footlocker containing some gear and magic items. Holy shit, there's a cloak of protection? That's neat. 4 potions of healing, chain shirt, mess kit, alchemist fire, bullseye lantern, thieves tools, and a spell book with some spells in it. And also ghasts. It bursts forth if someone removes 1 or more items from the footlocker, which is absolutely going to happen. Cool, so that's straightforward. They should be able to recognize, they're going to be like withered, but the players will be able to recognize their faces as the Dursts. I don't know who the fuck hid them in cavities. I don't know. Okay. Reliquary. I don't hate these items. I don't remember. Could be mistaken for a wand of polymorph. So once they go downstairs, here's a reliquary, a bunch of random garbage. Bag full of bat guano, hag's severed finger, 6-inch tall wooden figurine of a mummy, arm crossroads. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of stuff here. And then there's 2 exits from this room, 1 into the prison, 1 into the sacrificial chamber. There's a portcullis here. This wheel opens the portcullis. There's a whole lot of prison things going on here, so let's see what's going on in the prison. Prisoners long gone, bones litter the floor in area 27. Okay, that's where the shadows are? No? Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, right, the cultists ate the people. Yeah. Secret door in the south wall over here. Pulls open to real area 38. Hanging in the back wall over here. Human skeleton clad in tattered black robe. Cult member questioned their gold ring on a bony finger. Okay. Simple enough. So having to search it seemed kind of dumb. It's literally the only thing in the room that would glint in light. So literally as soon as they enter the room, they should see shackles on walls at the far end of the room, a hooded, cloaked figure that is very clearly a skeleton, also shackled to the wall. Oh, okay. On the back wall of the cell marked X. So I guess that's one of these 2, so they wouldn't see that immediately. So, but like as soon as they get here, if they have a light source, it would, the ring would glint in the light, and they'd see it. So portcullis, tunnel is blocked by a rusty iron portcullis. DC 20 athletics, or you can turn a wheel. Here's pillars in the middle of the room that probably don't have dynamic lighting. No, they don't. So let's add that. Oops. All right. So here's my rationale. If I'm going to be using dynamic lighting, I'm going to be using dynamic lighting. Like, I absolutely want, like, if I have to deal with it at the table, I want to get as much out of it as I can. So, you know, I want to add these pillars here so that we can, you know, we can fully appreciate the functionality. So if I grab, you know, I'm just going to make a copy. So if I just drop this guy here, like, how fucking cool is that? You know, you're standing on this walkway, and, you know, you can even see the edge of his light because the room's actually big enough for once. You know, these, you know, it's so cool. It does make it spookier. So one thing that I wish I could do with dynamic lighting is like one-way walls. So what I would want to do is if he's standing here, you know, this edge of the dais would block his light because it's that much higher. But if he's standing here, it wouldn't block his light because, you know, he's on top of it. I think that would be really neat, but I don't think that's a function that they have. So one of the things that AJ has been doing with her pixie character is just assuming that she's nowhere near strong enough to do anything. But magic is a thing, and despite being 7 inches tall, she still has 8 strength. Being a tiny character, she does have half the carry capacity of a smaller medium character who has 8 strength. So, you know, her carry capacity is only 60 pounds instead of the normal 120 with 8 strength. But she can carry 60 pounds of stuff. She's plenty of strong. So I would probably reiterate to her that she can just fly through the portcullis and turn this wheel. 1 inch per strength point. She actually has more strength than inches. And also I did the math the other day in talking with AJ, and we discovered that her shoulders and hips, if she's 7 inches tall and she has the same proportions as a human female, her shoulders and hips are about 1.5 inches wide. And that's width. She could easily just go like sideways through a portcullis, and she's probably 1/2 inch deep. She could easily squeeze through. Like, all right, let's do a smirt. So let's grab a ruler. No snapping. So the gap here is just shy of 3 feet. Let's say 3 feet for simplicity. I can't zoom in any further, and we'll say that these bars are, looks like they're about 1/2 foot across. So, you know, there's about 0.4 feet between the bars, 0.4 feet, 2 inches, almost 5 inches between the bars. Like, you could get your entire, you know, you could get your arm through it. She could easily fly through. She's tiny. But also, since I did that math, I realized that during last session I said that she couldn't fly into a furnace because the pipe was only 2 inches wide, but she absolutely could fly in there because she's smaller than 2 inches. So, the big finally, ritual chamber. So, cult used to perform rituals in this sunken room. So as soon as they get here, as soon as they enter the room, the chanting stops. Chanting stops as you peer into this 40-foot square room. The smooth masonry walls provide excellent acoustics. Featureless stone pillars support the ceiling, and a breach in the west wall, which is this wall. Oh, wrong tool. Which is this wall. Leads to a dark cave heaped with refuse. Murky water covers most of the floor. Stairs lead up to dry stone ledges that hug the walls. In the middle of the room, more stairs rise to form an octagonal dais that also rises above the water. Rusty chains with shackles dangle from the ceiling directly above a stone altar mounted on the dais. The altar is curved with hideous depictions of grasping ghouls and is stained with dry blood. It's the wings, they wide. I'm just imagining she can fold her wings. Like, I don't see any reason she can't fold her wings. So the water is 2 feet deep. Ledges and dais are 5 feet high, 3 feet higher than the water. Chamber ceiling is 16 feet high. That's a tall ceiling. Chains hanging from the ceiling are 8 feet long. So 16 minus 8 minus 5 is 3 feet. So as long as the person they're chaining up is less than 3 feet tall, they can still stand on the dais. Or more than 3 feet tall, they can still stand on the dais. Actually, like with your arms up, D&D estimates that you're 1 1/3 of your height you can reach. So water's 2 feet deep. AJ could drown. Yeah, she's knocked unconscious in the water, she would drown. In fact, I think anyone, if knocked unconscious in the water, they would drown. Because I don't think anyone's face is more than 2 feet from the ground if they're laying on their back. Half embedded in the east wall is a wooden wheel. Yep. Oh, these this portcullis doesn't have a dynamic lighting, does it? No, it don't. No, it diggity don't. Diggity do not. Now it diggity do. So. Alright, cool. We got dynamic lighting. Oh, I need these pillars. Anyone can drown in 2 inches of water. Yeah, I mean, if you're laying face down, you'll drown in 2 inches of water. Absolutely. Absolutely, that can happen. How long does it take to drown while unconscious? Okay, so that's a good question. So the way that I rule holding. Okay, so we're gonna take a step back. So we're gonna take a step back to holding your breath. So 5th edition says that you can hold your breath for a number of minutes equal to your Constitution modifier, minimum of 30 seconds if your Con mod is 0 or lower. Okay, so that's holding your breath. Does Snark need to submerge himself daily? Yes, Snark needs to submerge himself for an hour a day, but I have ruled that the mist is plenty. So you can hold your breath for a number of minutes equal to your Con mod, but if you're holding your breath, you essentially need to concentrate on it. So anytime you take damage or anything that would happen that would break spellcasting concentration, you need to make a Constitution saving throw. If you fail, you exhale, you lose your breath. Once you've lost your breath or run out of holding your breath, you have a number of rounds equal to your Con mod, minimum 1. And then at the end of that time period, after those rounds, you start drowning. When drowning, you're reduced to 0 hit points, you're dying, and you can't regain hit points until you stop drowning. That's how I run drowning. Everything except the con saves to not lose your breath is as written. Like, that's how the rules just work. But if you can just, dive in water holding your breath and then just fight with impunity, it takes a lot of the it takes a lot of the breath holding out of the equation, because if you're if you have a +3 con mod, you have 3 fucking minutes. You have 30 rounds of combat before you have to worry about your breath. So I think that's kind of silly. So I do con saves versus losing your held breath. Anytime you take damage, DC half the damage or 10, whichever's higher. So anyway, close them, shackle prisoners to the chains, dangle them above the altar, cut them open with knives, and allow the altar to be bathed in blood. So we've got a wheel connected to hidden chains and mechanisms. Action, turn the wheel. Cool. Hole in the west wall, alcove, Lorgoth the Decayer. Asleep but awakens if one of the characters summon a cultist but refuses to complete the ritual. Standing next to the mountain, you can discern its true nature with a nature check. Alright, so if character climbs to the top of the dais, the chanting rises once more as 13 dark apparitions appear on the ledges overlooking the room. Each one resembles a black-robed figure holding a torch. The torch's fire is black and seems to draw light into it. Where you'd expect to see faces are voids. One must die, they chant over and over. One must die. One must die. So I guess that's what they were chanting. Oh, no, okay, so they're chanting, he is the ancient, he is the land. He is the ancient, he is the land. He is the ancient, he is the land. Okay, so when you get to here, you hear them chanting, he's the ancient, he's the land. When you get into here, they start reading one must die, or start chanting one must die. Harmless figures can't be damaged, turned, or expelled. Sacrifice a creature, face a cult's wrath. If they make the sacrifice, yep, okay. If they leave the dais without making the sacrifice, the chant changes. So you're not allowed to leave to go get something, but you can stay there and then have someone else go get something for you to sacrifice. That seems weird, but makes sense. So you either awaken Lorgoth and they have to run, Or they wait a minute. Wait a gold darn minute. There is nothing in here about Rose's ghost giving them a round to run. Is that something I found on Reddit the first time I ran this? So if the cult is appeased, Death House harbors no ill will because they killed a thing. Sacrifice the wall climbing thing. Are you talking about the grung? You talking about the grung? Dude, not cool. The cult is denied, and they either destroy the Shambling Mound or escape from it. Death House attacks them as they try to leave. When they return upstairs, they must roll initiative as they discover several architectural changes. All the windows are bricked up. Bricked up windows and outer walls are impervious to weapon attacks and damage-dealing spells. All doors are gone, replaced by slashing scythe blades. Acrobatics check to make their way through. They spend a minute studying a particular doorway. You can try to take advantage of a momentary gap in their repeating movements. Wowza. And make a intelligence check instead. So if you're good at intelligence but not dex, interesting. Character push through a doorway and must make a dex save or take the damage. Wow, that is a lot of damage. So the first, well, we'll get there. Every room that contains a fireplace is filled with poisonous black smoke, heavily obscured. Starts to turn the smoke. Con save versus poison damage. That is a lot of damage. Interior walls become rotted and brittle. You can smash through the interior walls, but then you get swarms of rats. Keep track of initiative as they make their way through the house. Once they escape, they advance to third level, and house does them no more harm. So, let's address the elephant in the room, and by the elephant I mean the Shambling Mound. Shambling Mound is a CR5 creature with a hilarious amount of hit points, and if I recall correctly, even a decent AC. AC 15. They essentially have even odds to hit it with their +5 to hit. 136 hit points is absolutely asinine. And then when you take into account that AJ's cantrips are literally cold and fire, yikes. It's big yikes from me. It also has multi-attack that does 13 damage a hit. Does she get advantage because small? What, against the scythes? Sure. That makes sense. I dig it. So, he hits like a goddamn fucking truck. Essentially anyone but the barbarian, if he hits them twice, they're going down. Period. 4d8 plus 8 is plenty of damage to knock out a level 2 character. So, it's not fair to make them fight this thing. If they want to fight it, cool, fight it. Go. Have fun. But something that I did last time, which apparently is not in the module, and something that I added, probably at the behest of Reddit, is when the Shambling Mound arises and we all roll initiative, I'm going to roll initiative for Rose as well. And by roll initiative, I mean I'm going to fudge the shit out of it, and she's going to go just before the Shambling Mound. And what she's going to do is get in the Shambling Mound's way and yell and screech to the players, "Run!" She'll get in its way, and it will just, on its turn, batter her out of the way, but it'll waste its entire turn doing that. So, like, they essentially, like, I skip its first turn, basically, which gives them an opportunity to run the fuck away. And then because it's so large, does it have, like, Amorphous or anything? It doesn't have Amorphous or anything, and since it's large, it has to squeeze through, like, a lot of these friggin' corridors. So, as long as they get out of this room, they should be able to just run away. And then, they get to deal with the cult is denied nonsense. So, I think that's about it for Death House. So, one of the big things, DM should never fudge the dice. Yeah. I'm not fudging dice, I'm just cheating. No, there are things that you need to do to make the game more fun, and sometimes that involves ignoring what the dice say. If you disagree with me, then well, I suggest you go watch Matt Colville's video on fudging dice because he agrees with me. Yeah, fudge for story purposes, otherwise stick to the rules. So, I'm not going to fudge a dice roll just because the players are losing, like, a fight, or one of the players is about to die. I will kill players. That's absolutely something I do. I generally mount slither through portcullis bars. If they drop the portcullis, honestly, as long as they get out of this room, they're probably going to be... they're probably going to be fine because they can move so much faster than this thing. You know, it's got the same... Oops, didn't mean to do that. It's got less speed than them, and it has to squeeze through all of these areas that are narrower than 10 feet. So it literally, as long as they get out of the room and keep moving at all, you know, they're going to be fine. And if they find... So finding this secret door is absolutely vital, because if they don't find it, what they need to do is... Here, I'm going to open this bigger. So what they need to do is they take the stairs all the way up to the attic, go through this scythe door, go through this scythe door, go down these stairs, go through the secret door, which is probably not scything, go down spiral staircase all the way down to the first floor. Is there a fireplace? Yep. When they get to the second floor, the landing is poisonous, so they have to run through poison fog. When they get down to the first floor, this whole main hall is filled with poisonous fog. Then they have to go through this scythe door and then this scythe door. If they find the trap door, it's just scythe door, poison, scythe door, done. So it's way the fuck easier if they find the trap door. Instead of 2 poison fog rooms and, what was it, 6 scythe doors? Attic has 2. Okay, so they essentially saved themselves 1 fog room and 1 poisonous room. Or they could smash through this wall instead of going through the scythe door. And smash through this wall instead of going through that scythe door, but then they have to deal with swarms of rats. Fudge some Tuesday, it would have been a DPK because you're rolling a shit ton of nat 20. I mean, that happens. But the thing is, we use the dice to add drama. That's essentially the point of using dice. And you know, if you want to look up the Matt Colville video on this topic, cool. He's going to say basically what I'm about to say. We use dice to add drama. We use dice to add uncertainty to the game. As soon as the dice are removing drama or removing uncertainty, because you just, for some fucking reason, keep rolling the same high-ass numbers, ignore them. Stop, you know, it says 19, now it's a 9. It's, or, you know, they're having way too easy a time of the fight, and the die says 6, now it's a 16. That's not to say that you should do that all of the time. Every fight shouldn't be challenging but survivable. Some of them should be a fucking shitstomp. You know, sometimes the players should absolutely get annihilated. You know, they go into a fight with a white dragon completely unprepared. It breeds cold on all of them because they grouped up. 3 of them should probably go down. Don't stop that. Yeah. Smash through doors, not floors. Or no, smash through walls. The floors are still solid, but in the module it says that interior walls become rotted and brittle, AC 5 and 5 hit points, so just like hammer, gone. You know, and then you go through, but then, you know, then there's rats. So, rats. Smashing through floors is probably not going to happen, and probably not something you would want to do either. But yeah, so that's Death House. So one of the things, I should probably turn on a light because it's getting dark. Yes, I'm wearing sweatpants. One of the things that is absolutely vital to Curse of Strahd is the Taraka reading. And that's absolutely something that I haven't even done yet. I haven't even, like, pretended to do a Taraka reading. One thing that I absolutely think is absolutely vital for a DM to do is 100% stack the deck. Do not let randomness dictate your Taraka reading. But if you're going to be running this multiple times, mix it up. Last time I ran this, I had the Sun Sword in the windmill. I'm not going to do that again. Last time I ran this, I had the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind at Amber Temple. I'm not going to do that again. I think I had the Tome of Strahd in the highest tower of Castle Ravenloft. I'm not going to do that either. So, sure, use the deck. Maybe even shuffle the deck and pick cards at random and then go, do I like that result? No. Do I like that result? No. Do I like that result? Ooh, I like that result. Terracotta. No, it's a Taraka reading. Sunsword in the Werewolf Den. That was cool. So I never used the Werewolf Den. My players never went to the Werewolf Den. I never used any werewolves the last time I ran this. But Tiny and Gramps are actually after two of the werewolves. One of them is in Castle Ravenloft, but the other one is in the Werewolf Den. So I don't hate that. Sunblade was right under their noses in Madame Ava's wagon. That's funny. That is a result. That's a result you can get. It's just there. I might actually put the Tome of Strahd there. I think that reading the Tome of Strahd is really interesting, especially early on. So we'll talk about Taraka readings on a future DM prep stream. Might even be next week, depending on how far I think they'll get with the Village of Barovia. I don't think there's a whole lot in the Village of Barovia, which is going to be the topic of next session. So this is E7, if I recall correctly, is Death House, right? Oh, come on. Haunted House described, yeah. So they're right here. This is not a big town. There's only 7 areas, and one of them they're exploring right now. So next DM prep session, we'll probably cover Taraka reading. 18 real-life hours in the first village. That's certainly possible, but I think that is unlikely. So Amber, that's why I said that I wanted to put the Tome of Strahd there. The Holy Symbol of Ravenkind and the Sun Sword are absolutely very powerful items. Hilariously, I can give them the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind at any point, anytime I want, and it won't matter because it requires attunement by a Cleric or Paladin, and we have neither of those. So they literally just can't even attune to it. Just can't attune. Unless they make it to level 14, Arcane Trickster, I think, gets the ability to ignore. Oh no, that's Thief. That's Thief Rogue, level 13, use Magic Device. So yeah, they will never be able to attune to the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind, which I think happened in our other game too. So underwhelming, but I could put the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind or the Tome of Strahd in Madame Ava's wagon, and it wouldn't matter. But we'll cover that next time. I think there's plenty of content here in the basement of Death House. It's areas 22 through 38, so we got 17 areas. They made it through slightly fewer than that. Fudge the Ally, and the Ally could use it. Yeah, I could do that. So they went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 areas that session, but they also did stuff leading up to the town. So 17 is probably about right. When I ran Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I found that my players are making an average pace of 10 numbered areas per session. But obviously, something like Area 14, which is just the broom, not going to take a huge amount of time. Area 13, which is just a bathroom, that's it, not going to take a huge amount of time. So I think Death House has plenty of content for next session, so that's where we're going to stop prepping. I do definitely think... Okay, so I have read the entire book. I did that last time I ran this. I definitely think there is value in reading the entire book. Don't prep the entire book. Read the entire book. You can skim. Like when you get to a dungeon, you don't need to read the description of every single room. So if you're reading Death House, read the history, read Rose and Thorn, read The Mist. And then when you see areas of the house, say, nah, I ain't reading that. And then, maybe since, this one's really big, so maybe read that one because that looks important. And then read endings. And then, read all of this. When you're doing your first pass through the book, just read all this stuff. And when you get to the castle, for the love of God, just skip the whole thing. It's very, very long. It's like some 70 pages just for the castle. But, read the story that's in the book. Get an idea of what the story can look like. then start prepping. Get an idea for how you want to shape the story. So I've already read the entire book. So, and I think I described this at the beginning of last DM prep session, but I'm going to describe it again. So my story is that Strahd is a sympathetic villain. He is a victim of his own hubris. He's a victim of his own fear of death, of being old. He's a victim as much as he is a villain. So my plan for the story is that Madame Ava, who, spoiler alert, no, honestly, this is a huge spoiler, so if you're playing in Curse of Strahd or ever want to play Curse of Strahd, leave or mute it for the next minute or so. Madame Ava is Strahd's half-sister. She has a, she loves him in, a familial kind of way. She wants to help him. And this is actually explained in Appendix D, I think, Monsters and NPCs. Madame Ava. Strahd's half-sister. Her real name is Katerina. She's the daughter of a Vistani woman who the king took to his bed. She knows she's Strahd's half-sister, but has told no one. She doesn't want to replace him. She wants to find someone else to succeed him. She has grave doubts about her ability to locate such an individual. So my idea is that she is throwing adventuring parties at the problem. She knows that adventuring parties are a force for change in lands beyond Barovia, because she hears stories from beyond Barovia from her Vistani who can leave. So what she's trying to do is just get as many adventuring parties into Barovia and throw them at Strahd and at the Amber Temple and everything in the valley, in the hopes that one of them can figure out something that'll free Strahd from his torment. So over the course of the campaign, my players are going to run into these other adventuring parties. I haven't decided where all of them are going to start, but obviously one of them is going to start in Krezk, because that's the opposite side. Maybe one of them started in Yester Hill. Maybe one of them started in Mount Baratok, and they have to make their way down to Lake Zarovich. I'm going to, I have not yet, I'm going to come up with who these people are, where they came from, how they react to situations, and if the players take their time getting to Vallaki, maybe by the time they get there, another adventuring party has already killed the leaders and overthrown them, and everything's just like, what in the fuck is going on here? So I'm taking the module and transforming it in that way. Where am I putting that third gem? Right up your ass. No, I don't have any plans for the third gem. It's lost forever. It's just it doesn't exist. I feel bad for saying. Harsh, yeah, a little bit. No, I don't have any plans to do anything with the third gem. But yeah, there's gonna be other adventuring parties. We have kids watching us. They should not be watching. You're not allowed to be on Twitch until you're 13 years old. But yeah, so that's my plan for the module. I need to figure out a Taraka reading that supports that plan. But then I'm guessing that at some point they're going to run into an adventuring party that's already dead. So as the players are making their way up towards and or past the castle, they're going to get invited. I think it's at the crossing, right? Black Carriage. Yeah, Black Carriage. So Strahd is invited to the castles to raid. So cool. So he is going to, what the fuck, Bayless? You're in this game, get out of here. Someone yell at him because he's mute. He has me muted. He's not allowed to be here. He's a player in this game. So Strahd's gonna invite them to the castle, and oh, Mr. Bayless, is he streaming? Is he streaming? I can't chat for some reason. He is offline, but he's hosting me. That's cool. Someone tell him to start streaming so I can raid him. So, as the players are making their way up up towards and or past the castle, to get invited to meet with Strahd, and Strahd basically just wants to know, like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then you know, sets them on their way. Because he doesn't want to kill these people. He wants to be entertained. He wants new things to happen. So he's totally happy to have these strangers in his domain for at least the time being. Trying to kill time for Bayless to get set up so I can raid him. He obviously can hear us. Well, no, Steph. No, he said he told me earlier that he was gonna start streaming when we were. Come on. I don't know why this thing's so broken. Quick actions. Toss that up there. Raid chat. All right. Be entertaining. I don't know how. Let's just drag that up so we can see the chat. What the fuck are you doing? You don't fucking know anymore. Chat. Yeah. Have I been working on my Strahd voice? I haven't been working on my Strahd voice. I also haven't worked on my Vistani voice either, which I should do. But I'm trying not to be super... So if this window is too small, I can't interact with it. That's weird. So that's raid. Okay. Alright, cool. Samus. Let Samus in the room. Alright. I'll get Samus. Samus. Alright. She's dead asleep, apparently. No, Sam. Sorry. You made your Were Ravens German for some reason. That's interesting. So I'm going to just pull up twitch.tv as Mr. Bayless. And the moment that he is streaming, I'll just raid him. And you guys can go watch him make art for our Odyssey campaign. Ravens should get the nat 20. So, alright, you know what, let's just talk about Taraka while we're here. Let's look at the Taraka deck. Oh, this is like the deck. This is the deck itself. I don't want that. I want the reading, which is in here, I think. Yep. Can Steph be Madame Ava? I mean, she could. I think that'd be kind of neat. She can probably do an old lady voice better than I can. Steph, you want to come up here and pitch your old lady voice? So Taraka reading. I'm not gonna actually like get to do like any of this, like this layout or anything. Okay, card tells. Yeah. So Tome of Strahd, Holy Symbol, Sun Sword, Enemy, and where he is. So treasure locations for the three things. We'll get to that. First, I want to know about the ally. So who could possibly use the thing? The werewolf. Ooh. So So Tiny and Gramps are here to kill Zuleika, because she killed a bunch of pixies. I kind of love that idea. Man Mage Mount Baratok. Cards came with the Roll 20 module. There's a map. Oh, really? Let's see. Ravenloft, Belonki, Blue Water Rain, Master, Bone Grinder, Argynvost Toll, Krezek, Abby, Beres, Van Richten, Ember Temple. Hey, Taraka reading board. Neat. Oh, he live. Mr. Bayless went live. We're gonna do a raid. So thanks for joining. We will do the Taraka reading next time on DM Prep. No results found? Seriously? What the hell? It's telling me I can't raid Mr. Bayless? /raid Mr. Bayless. Bing. Cool. We're raiding Mr. Bayless. He's gonna do Jesse's character for our Odyssey game, whose name is now Scorpius. And I hope you guys enjoy his stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Thanks for being here, and see you tomorrow for Odyssey prep. Bye. And you have rated, and I'm going to stop streaming.